In this video, I'm likely to decode HIIT training for you. Hey, I'm Ashrita and I'm your fitness coach. Now, HIIT training to me is one of the most effective forms of exercises that one can resort to for fat burning mode. That said, it's also a very good form of effective cardiovascular exercise. Now, what is HIIT? What is high intensity interval training? Essentially, high intensity interval training is something where you do short bursts of exercises very close to your maximum heart rate, literally 80 to 95% of your max heart rate. With that kind of intensity plugged in, you get into a quick burst of recovery. You pause for recovery. That recovery happens at somewhere approximately close to about 50% of your max heart rate, and then you repeat this all over again. That is really HIIT for you. So intervals. Now, if we have to talk about exercises selection, I personally like to get into a lot of exercise selections which are traditionally cardiovascular in nature, something like, sprints, jumping jacks, high knees, butt kicks, burpees, mountain climbers, jump rope, and there are tons of variations even on staircase that you can do. So that's my go-to method of exercise selection. Not that one can't select resistance training exercises, one can, and they also form a part of HIIT, just that it's a personal preference and I really like to go all out when I want to give it my max effort. Now, why is HIIT so effective? Well, there is a lot of stress put on the body when you do HIIT. There is a lot of demand on your body physically when you do HIIT. And therefore, there is a lot of energy utilization while you do HIIT, and therefore a lot of calories which are burned in the bargain. Now, when there is so much of demand which is coming to it physically, the body responds back also by saying that, guys, I need to get fit fast. I need to really get to adapt myself to take care of this stress which is coming upon me. And therefore, the calories that are burned are not just burned during the workout, but long after the workout is also done and over with. Now, if you think that you can't possibly do HIIT because you're a beginner and this is not something that you can take so much of physical demand with an exercise, not true. Everybody can do HIIT. Now, how is that? Let me explain by just getting to basics. Now, I personally like to follow the concept of tracking my heart rate when I do HIIT training. There are many other ways, but then this to me is one of the most accurate ways. I like to keep myself between 90 and 95% of my max heart rate effort. How do I even calculate my max heart rate? There are more accurate ways, but one of the most easy ways of doing so is that you just subtract your age out of the number 220. So if my age is 40, I subtract 220 minus 40, 180 to be my maximum heart rate. Now, with that maximum heart rate, I want to be between the range of 90 to 95% at the peak of my interval performance, which means I like to track myself to being somewhere between 162 to 171. Now, if this is the peak of my performance, when I stop that interval, want to come down and then recover and come down to say approximately 85 beats per minute. Now that's approximately 50% of my recovery and of my maximum heart rate for recovery. Now, all of us can track this. If you're wearing a sports watch, it's very simple to track this. It's just available for you in terms of checking your heart rate right there, right then. But if you're not wearing a sports watch or you don't have access to it, you still can track it. How do you do this? All you need to do is take your pulse at the end of your interval and track it for 6 seconds. How many counts of pulses are you able to see? Multiply it by 10, and that's really what your heart rate at that time is. And that is going to be, it's as simple as that. Now, if you know and if you're able to track this, think about it like this. If you're thinking that, I'm at the same age as one of the athletes, but why should I be going to 170 beats per minute in terms of my workout while I'm still 40 and maybe the athlete is also 40? Well, it's as easy that, what it takes for an athlete to get to a heart rate of 170 is also going to be a lot more, while what it'll take you as a beginner to get to a heart rate of 170 will be a lot less, which means all of us are equally equipped to do high intensity interval training workouts. So don't shy away, try now. Okay, let's talk about the ratio of work is to rest that we can clock at HIIT. In order to establish that, I would like to say that it depends on how fit you are. So if you are an advanced practitioner, then certainly I would recommend 2:1 ratio, where it means, let's say 20 seconds work, 10 seconds rest, and 30 seconds work, 15 seconds rest. If you're an intermediate, I would probably give you a recommendation of 1:1. 30 seconds work, 30 seconds rest, 20 seconds work, 20 seconds rest. But if you are really a beginner, that it's time really to begin with something, reverse it. So it's literally 20 seconds work, 40 seconds rest. 30 seconds work, 60 seconds rest. So look at your ratio and build upon reducing the rest period as you get better at HIIT. And now I'm going to talk about some class mistakes that people make at HIIT training. Some of them have intervals which go way too long. Now, typically what happens is, scientifically, you can have intervals ranging from as low as 20 seconds and as high as even 8 minutes. But if I was to go with my personal experience, I strongly feel that, the purpose of doing HIIT training is when you want to go all out on your intensity, really high and close to your max heart rate. If that's what we want to achieve, then these long intervals really don't help us achieve and last long at that intensity. Now, if you're really fit, some of the athletes I really think can last out to about a minute long on the interval on their peak performance. But lasting to 2 minutes is going to be very difficult and higher impossible on that kind of, intensity per se. So to me, the go-to suggestion is that ideally, I like to work with 30 seconds work and 15 seconds rest kind of an interval. And the highest and my peak out is literally at 45 seconds work and, accordingly some kind of rest period chosen. And if I have to really go small, I like to go with something like 20 seconds work, 10 seconds. So that's my range, 20 seconds of work or 45 seconds of work, nothing more, nothing less. Now, even if you look at Tabata, which is 20 seconds work and 10 seconds work, it's typically something which was made for Olympians. So the kind of intensity that kind of workout can even draw today. Now, the second mistake that people do is some of these workouts are done for way too long. The session is too long. Now, intensity of a workout is always inversely proportional to the duration of workout, which means that tomorrow, if you're going for a hike, you can go all out for 4 hours and be perfectly fine with it. However, if you're doing a HIIT session, you want it to be, say, max 30 minutes. And, go all out for those 30 minutes. And if you're doing anything higher than that, then either you're not possibly warming up enough or you're possibly not cooling down right. So it's important that when you begin your HIIT session, you spend some time in doing some dynamic warm-up. Increase your heart rate by doing some slow, steady state cardio, and thereafter get into a full-fledged training time. Do not forget to get into a cool down and stretch muscles. Take your time in doing that after your workout is over. So to conclude, begin by doing your HIIT intervals for about, say, 30 minutes. Design your intervals to range from about 20 seconds to about 45 seconds. Make sure that you go all out and do it with all your effort, reaching your max heart rate from 80% to 95%. And yes, these workout guides are designed to be effective. Just make the most out of it, and most importantly, while they're designed to be effective, they are hard and they're not easy, but make sure that you are rewarded right after you finish one.